leader of the 3rd Squad of the Shinsengumi.
The Shizo Hijikata, assistant leader of the Shinsengumi. Okita, I recommend that you stand down. That man over there, the infamous Batosai, the master. People's wolves are here. It's the Shinsengumi.
What is up, guys? DT Ninja here for you guys my RuroKen Hokkaido Arc Chapter 52 review. Alright guys, I know it's been a while since my last video. I was moving into a new apartment, but here we are. We are ready to look at some Kenshin. So Chapter 52, we're going to look right into the pages. The battle begins between Sanosuke, Anji, and Doi, the rock user of Kinkaku Heki. Now, of course, they use this pose here, basically readying Futaya no Kiwami, right? And Sanosuke here. And then, of course, you have Doi holding on to his rock weapon, the tool that he created. So, yeah, it's a pretty cool visual. Really interesting. Really cool. Okay, so let's get into it. We have Sanosuke basically claiming that, you can do this with sand, you can do this with rocks, you can do gravel, whatever it is you can create with your body, just come at me. It doesn't matter. I'm going to take you down. So then Doi right here basically is saying, no, you're coming to me. You will come to me. I'm not coming to you. So basically, what this means is that Doi is probably a long-range fighter, but also can fight in multiple ways. So Sanosuke obviously fights close up, right? So that's why he has to go to him. Another thing I noticed is Doi actually ignores him. Look, he says, I'm not talking about you. I don't care. You're the lowest of the lows is what he says. So I found that very interesting. And Sanosuke was triggered by that. He was like, what the hell? And he went straight towards him. But this moment here, where he turns towards Anji and is like, you know what? I'll be the decoy. I'll find an opening. And once you do, please knock him out with your Futaya no Kiwami. I love this about Sanosuke because at the previous chapter, he basically said he's going to go in, rush in, attack wildly, or at least that was my understanding based on what Anji said to him. You'll lose if you do that, but here he's using strategy, so I love it. Okay, and then he says, come on here, and you can see he strikes with his fist here, his arm outstretched, his leg, he kicks. So not only does he use his fist, but he kicks, and then you can see he kicks the stone-like, weapon of Doi's, and then he uses his elbow here, which is interesting. So he uses multiple ways. He uses a lot of his body here, which is very unorthodox. I wouldn't say unorthodox. I would say it's uncharacteristic of Sanosuke, because Sanosuke usually uses his fists, but he uses his foot here. You can see he uses his leg. He uses. You can see his elbow. So that was really great to see. And then you get this really cool visual here where they both attack each other. Basically, they both strike each other in the face, and you can see the results here. But then, look at this. This you see right here, yes, it shatters the weapon. But look where Sanosuke's arm is. This is his left arm. This isn't even his Futaya no Kiwami arm. This isn't the one that's his strongest arm. So that is very interesting. That just shows you his development, how strong he's gotten, which is really interesting. It also begs and opens questions for discussion. We'll get to that hopefully in my next discussion. Okay, and then of course you have his right arm here, and he's basically saying, eat this, Futaya no Ki, and of course he's going for his attack. But right as he's about to do it, you can see Doi has the sand and surrounds him, and he flies off using the sand, and it actually is a way to avoid his attack. So you can see it right there. And it also is a way to kind of make an obstruction, the Sanosuke, you know. So that was pretty neat. And then right as Sanosuke's trying to come at him more, you can see Doi uses his foot and he smashes it down, creating this this mound. You can see this huge mound here, and it's actually called the Rock Ant Mound. And this is one of the various techniques of Doi using graboids. And graboids is his special battle style. The battle style of graboids allows him to create, but also to, kind of use the surroundings of the earth around him to create weapons. So I find that's a very interesting attack. It's also something to keep Sanosuke away. Notice how far he is away from Sanosuke. This could mean that he's trying to avoid obviously a point blank strike. So anyways, pretty cool. Okay, let's move on. The next attack is also part of his battle style graboids, and this is where he puts his fists together like this and basically shoots out all the rocks. And you can see right there, it's when he puts his hands together like that and his fists, it kind of shoots out. It's called Hachi Subite, which means bee flying gravel. Flying bee gravel. So this gravel goes flying at him, and you can see it surrounding Sanosuke. But this is where Anji comes in and uses his entire body. I love this scene where the rock, this huge rock, is there, and like he basically incinerates it with his Futai no Kiwami. Really cool visual. And then this one, where he does his entire body and smashes the entire ant mound. Look at that. Really awesome. Love this scene. And then this is where Doi is like, man, this guy's a monster. So from this, I want to point out is that graboids, the actual battle style, is based on the creature from Tremors. If you guys have ever seen Tremors, Tremors is a movie franchise. It's basically a worm-like creature that burrows underneath the ground. And so if you remember, Doi can do that. So that's why his battle style is called graboids. Now, if you look here, it actually literally means violent insects. So what's interesting is that obviously ants, right? That's an insect. And then bees, that's another insect. So you got like, these interesting attacks, but also they're related to kind of why the battle style is called graboids. I found that very interesting. Also, look at this Hachi Subite. It kind of reminds me of Yusuke Urameshi's shotgun. Like, you have something shooting out, and obviously the rocks. But yeah, really cool attack. Now, when I first saw Doi, I thought that the rocks were actually coming out of his mouth. Because, like, the way it showed, but obviously it was based on his fists. So, anyway, really cool scene. Sorry, I try to get the pages right. Okay, here we go. So, now we go back, and basically he is basically saying, Doi, like, in the Book of Warriors, it is stated about the Futai no Kiwami, but not this powerful. I never imagined how powerful you would be. And so Sanosuke is like, you know what, mine is just as powerful. And then he's like, I wasn't talking to you, you worthless. Like, he's just basically putting him down and everything. So, yeah, this is where Sanosuke is like, oi, hey, And then this is where he basically says that, talks about, the monk's past. He talks about the monks, and then you see this flashback from the original manga, obviously where Anji loses everything and becomes Anji the Destroyer. Then he goes really deep. He goes pretty personal, and he even says, he talks about hell and how a soul can be forged in hell, and that's how, Anji the Destroyer was born, obviously Anji the Enlightened One. But then he goes on to talk about how the children are now happy in the Pure Land. I want to point something out. When he points this out, when Doi points this out, this is a hint that they are of the Buddhist faith, because no one says the Pure Land unless they know what they're talking about. The Pure Land is something Buddhists talk about. So this is reincarnation, the Pure Land. So anyways, that could mean that also is probably the reason why Doi is avoiding Sanosuke, because he wants to fight Anji, because he was a Buddhist faith. So both of them have something in common. That's very interesting. And I also love how Sanosuke just comes to the, just is really pissed off at pulling this, talking about the dead children. That was just something that really got to him, and he went right to basically standing up for Anji. That was really cool. And then, of course, he goes in for a fight, going in for to hit him straight up. And then this is where he creates another weapon, the pestle, the iron. He creates this weapon out of iron and smashes it into his head. And, of course, Sanosuke has the hardest head in the world, so it doesn't do anything, right? Really cool. And of course, this is where he talks about, oh yeah, he is really strong, he has absurd strength, but he wasn't really accepting it, and he wasn't even considering him strong until that moment. So he kind of, became, oh, he really is strong. And then this moment is where we get Anji going to attack, and we get the double Futai no Kiwami. Sanosuke finds an opening when he flips him around, and then this attack. Look at this. Double Futai no Kiwami simultaneous. I love it. I love it. Really awesome. And of course, this is just the cliffhanger at the end. Basically, Sanosuke and Anji finally have done damage to Doi, puts him down. Is he finished? Well, no, he's not. But I really did like this chapter. Really interesting stuff. I will say this. I do really think that Sanosuke could be the key to defeating Doi. I also think the fact that they're both a Buddhist faith, Doi and Anji, there's going to be something interesting. We could get a backstory of Doi. We could also learn more about, their Buddhist faith and what happened to them. So, very interesting stuff. I enjoyed this chapter. I hope you guys enjoyed this. There will be a discussion. I just wanted to do this, review and look through the pages. Like I said, the main things to remember, Sanosuke using his left fist, using his legs, using his, other body parts to fight. That's just awesome. His strategic ways in this chapter. The reliance on Anji, but also sticking up for his friend, sticking up for, someone who went through so much hell. So I love it. It was really well done. Anyways, guys, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully we got some good discussion for my next video. We'll see you guys in the next one.